Hi, it's Mrs. Felix, and I'll be talking about the math curriculum. Our math curriculum is standards-based instruction. The big ideas in third grade, some new standards for third graders are multiplication, division, fractions, and multi-step word problems. They will be using different curriculums to learn these skills. For instance, Go Math is a district-based program, and you can go to thinkcentral.com to see what Go Math looks like. They also have workbooks for Go Math, and you'll see them take some of those pages maybe home. We use Engage New York, and that program is very much aligned to the CAF's end of the year assessment. So that's why we integrate that program. It also has a lot of word problems and multi-step word problems. We use iReady. You probably have seen iReady last year, and that's personalized instruction. So they take 3 tests a year. We just took the beginning of the year one, and we should be sending home data for that. And then the lessons are at their level. So we're aiming for at least 45 minutes of independent practice on that program a week. And of course, they can do more. The students will use it in class, but also at home. Some teaching strategies that all the teachers in third grade use are we do number talks. So we talk about some of these math strategies. So for instance, we'll ask the students, what do you know about subtraction? Or what do you know about the number 350? And what this does is it helps students actually use the vocabulary for the topic. And once they're able to verbalize things and talk about them, they're able to write them down. So it helps them to become better writers and be able to explain the conceptual parts of the math topic. They understand why they're actually doing something. So for word problems, they're making sense of the problems. They're asking themselves, like, does this make sense? Why am I solving it this way? And there's a lot of vocabulary development in math, like tier 1 and tier 3 words and tier 2 words, like why do we use this word when we talk about math and not this one? We'll be doing a lot of spiral review, so reviewing concepts from second grade and first grade, and also things that we've learned in the past few months so that they don't forget when we have the test at the end of the year, which is a spiral test. We also will be doing math sprints or math fluency practice, and what that is like math facts. So what we do multiplication facts. So for instance, maybe they'll start on the ones, and then the next week they pass the test for the ones, and then they'll go to the twos, and then the week after that they'll go to the threes, and so they just get more fluent, and it just helps them become better mathematicians. So for writing in third grade, all of our writing is also standards-based, and we teach writing through mini lessons. We chunk a lot of the writing work, so like we don't just say write this to this prompt. We break it down into little sections so it doesn't feel like very overwhelming for the students. There's 3 writing genres that we teach in third grade, and those are narrative, which are short stories. We're working on that right now. And they're not personal narratives, they're more made-up stories, fictional stories that the students are writing, so where they're not a character in the story, but they're writing about new characters. Opinion writing, so they'll support their work with evidence from text and give their opinion about something. And informative or explanatory writing, which is including summaries from Achieve 3000. So they'll read informative articles on Achieve 3000 or in class, and then they'll summarize what the main idea or facts and details about the text are. We also look at different types of authors, and we're going to have the students emulate their writing style. That's called mentor text or author's craft. So for example, we'll choose a book about deserts, and the author is an amazing author. So we'll have the students start writing the beginning or the topic sentences just like that author did. So we emulate certain authors that are successful so that our students can be successful writers as well, and authors as well. We have writing conferences where the students will sit with the teacher, and the teacher helps the student get better at different skills. And also we have peer conferencing where 2 students will sit together and they'll help each other on a certain writing skill. And then we'll talk a lot about the writing process. And what that is they do, and this also helps to chunk the writing process to make it not so overwhelming. They'll have to do a rough draft one day or plan it out, and then they'll edit it. And then finally, maybe a week later, they do a final draft. And a lot of times with final drafts in third grade, they're typing them. So they're using word processing skills and using typing skills, so getting to be quicker on the keyboard. We use different apps. I know one is typing.com or Dance Mat Typing, and your teacher will tell you which one they use in class, but they can also practice those typing skills at home. The reason why they type is because the CAS test at the end of the year, it's just one of the reasons, but one of the reasons is because they'll have to type their answers for the writing assignments on that test at the end of the year. So we just want them to get much quicker on the keyboard. Thank you for listening, and I hope to meet many of you in person very soon.
Our reading curriculum, we will use various techniques and strategies to help our students be successful in class and to take it in independent work as well. Ask themselves questions before they read, thinking about our 5 W's that we go over in class: who, what, why, when, where, and any other questions that they might focus on during their reading. AR is a program we use called Renaissance. It's an app on the student district website, and that will be, the students will be assigned a reading level, for example, a 3.2 or 3.5, and they are encouraged to pick books in that range. So for example, if they're a 3.5, that means a middle of third grade reading level, and then they can choose a range a little bit below that, a little bit above that, and based upon that reading level, they should be successful in reading the book independently and answering the questions. Students will often say, I can read much higher than that phonetically, but they lack the background knowledge or perhaps just the comprehension skills to be successful in the comprehension quiz after the test. So again, they may say they can read a 5th grade book, but if they are assigned a reading level, for example, 3.5, please encourage them to read at that assigned level. They will be able to advance during the school year to a higher level as they do well on their AR tests. Achieve 3000 is another reading program that we use. It focuses more on informative articles, although they have been adding narrative short stories in there as well. But we will be assigning the informative articles, whereas the AR is more of the narrative books and the library books that they will be reading. The goal by the end of 3rd grade is to be at a 520 to 820 reading range. They will accomplish this goal, and it can adjust monthly based upon working on 2 articles per week and passing at 75% or better on their first try. If they miss the problem, it's multiple choice. If they miss a problem, they will have a second chance to answer it, but it's that first try that counts towards advancing their Lexile level. In class, we will be going over reading strategies. There's a step-by-step process for the students to first answer a reading poll question to get them thinking about the topic and to make some connections. And then before reading the article, focusing on the vocabulary words and reading it once through for the main idea. And we do focus on telling the students that they read it more than once. It's not just reading once and going straight to questions. We do, like I said, go over a list of strategies in the classroom to help them be successful when completing the articles independently. Some of those strategies would be to go back and reread the article once they're answering the questions, find their evidence in the text, look for keywords in the questions that help them to find the answer in the text, eliminating the questions that aren't, or sorry, the answers that aren't right for the question, and narrowing your answers down. Again, if they get one wrong, though, they do have a chance to go back and reread it and get a second try on their activity questions.
Other curriculum includes science, social studies, computers, keyboarding, and typing skills. Also, every other week, students will be attending VAPA, visual arts and music classes, and also throughout the week, students will be getting Stanford Harmony curriculum, which includes social emotional development that was talked about earlier in the video. Assessments will include formal writing prompts, the testing or CASP, and at the end of each chapter or unit, we will also be giving students tests. Informal assessments include teacher observations, math fluency, and assignments that are given throughout the year. In teacher and parent communication, conferences will be held this September, September 9th through the 16th. And for students who are below grade level, we'll be meeting with you on an ongoing basis and as needed. Our fall break will begin September 20th. You can expect 3 different report cards this year, one in December, March, and the final one in June. If you have any questions or concerns, please contact us at these email addresses.